hard is it to make a good movie about professional wrestling? Well, apparently very, since there's only one film made in the entire history of the genre that fits that description. But the thing about The Wrestler that made it so accessible to such a broad audience is that Mickey Rourke's character could be almost anything. A pro wrestler, a boxer, a stuntman, hell, even a mailman. Any job in which your age becomes a liability. So it can be done, but in general, it's pretty difficult to portray the life of a pro wrestler. Now, a professional wrestling fan, turns out that's even harder to portray. Case in point, Ready to Rumble. Ready to Rumble was released in 2000. It starred David Arquette, Scott Conn, and a host of stars from WCW. In a move that was meant to bring WCW back to the promised land of the Monday Night Wars, it wound up being a total flop. It was unfunny, uninteresting, and totally unwatchable. It made wrestling fans look like idiots, and it blurred the lines between the real and the fake of pro wrestling so much that by the end, I couldn't tell this movie was meant to be some sort of ironic satire. And let's not forget, this movie was the catalyst for what would be one of the final nails in the coffin for WCW. I absolutely loathe the idea of doing this movie. Come on, headless, muscular guy, you've already got them in a headlock, just squeeze a little harder. Just pop their heads off. You could be doing the whole world a favor. You could change the course of human history. You could prevent this drag from ever being reviewed. Come on, just do it! No, you have no courage! Let's just get it over with. Ah! That's a pretty traumatizing way to start things off, don't you think, movie? Loud classical music followed by a picture of a bloody Sid Vicious?
It is safe to assume that professional wrestlers are universally recognized as the greatest athletes of all time. Lassie, Gorgeous George, George the Animal Steel, Superfly Snuka, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan.
Must be confusing for the non-wrestling fans watching this film, as none of the names Scott Conn is listing off match any of the pictures that are being shown. Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Ted DiBiase, Billy Graham. Our story begins in the small town of Lusk, Wyoming. We meet the film's two main protagonists, wrestling superfans and best buds, Gordy, played by Arquette, and Shawn, played by Conn, who clearly deserved better than being in this film. Get used to me saying that phrase because you'll be hearing it a lot. These two are huge fans of longtime WCW star Jimmy King. King is played by Oliver Platt, who's played an asshole for so much of his career that it ought to be on his business card. Oliver Platt, professional asshole. Gordy fantasizes about being a wrestler and tag teaming with the King himself, but he just spends most of his time with his finger up his butt. And I'm not being figurative here.
Hey, Gordy?
Yeah,
Why does it look like you have your finger in your butt?
'cause it do.
Your hero, ladies and gentlemen! We're also introduced to Gordy's father, a state trooper who loathes wrestling and wants Gordy to follow in his footsteps. He also seems to have a weird preoccupation with sketchy touching.
Whoa, what's this?
Those are my nuts.
I don't understand why he doesn't like wrestling. Looks like he'd fit right in. The two main characters work their day job, cleaning septic tanks and porta-johns. Gordy and Shawn are psyched because they'll be going to see WCW Nitro in nearby Cheyenne that night. Wait a minute, Nitro in Wyoming? Did Raw or Nitro ever perform in flyover states? Well, we don't have too much time to think about that as we move on to the next joke.
Welcome to Easy Takeout Burger. How may I help you?
Shawn wants Brittany's taco. The cheese all over. Pour for her.
Yeah, we're only about 10 minutes into the film, and David Arquette's man-child shtick is already wearing pretty thin.
Why don't you just ask her out, man?
The Don Juans fail to impress Shawn's crush, and the two have some time to sit and chat.
You should give up on Brittany, man.
That was a quick turnaround.
Why don't you just ask her out, man?
You should give up on Brittany, man.
So the two talk about what's going to happen that night, and, wait a minute. I can't stop looking at that dripping septic tank while they talk and eat. Is that all it's gonna do? I keep waiting for the punchline where it'll burst and interrupt what they're saying, but it just keeps dripping. Is that the joke? Is that what we're supposed to be laughing at here? We cut ahead to the big show, WCW Nitro, in what looks to be the smallest arena for a Nitro I've ever seen. I suppose it makes sense to run out of a smaller building, considering how badly WCW was drawing in real life. This was probably what their average house looked like every Monday night. Makes sense to pack him in tight, I guess. We finally get to see the champ, Jimmy King, who, oh my god, is the least convincing wrestler I've ever seen. There have always been wrestlers who don't have the body of an Adonis. That's how it's always been, and it's never really gonna go away. But look at him! I don't think this guy has an athletic bone in his body. How thick is that outfit he's wearing to give off the impression that he's larger than he actually is?
You want to see me take Diamond Dallas Page down into my dungeon and make him my medieval puppy dog bitch tonight?
Well, it's no Rudy Poo candy ass, but I can still see that line going over.
'Cause I'm the...
Sing it, man!
I'm the king of rock. There is none high. Sucker MCs call me sire.
Oh, wait, what?
For my kingdom, you must use fire. I don't stop rocking till I retire.
Wait, what? A rapping king? Why? As we try to get that bad taste out of our mouths, we see a conspiracy in the works between Diamond Dallas Page and Titus Sinclair, a booker slash promoter slash manager slash owner. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to be. It's never clearly defined. All we know is he's an on-air talent who has some degree of power in WCW. Sinclair is played by Joe Pantoliano, who deserves much better than to be in this film. Anyway, Sinclair says King's time is up and tells DDP to put the champ out of wrestling. The match starts out cordially enough with the two men calling spots in the ring, but then the master of the Diamond Cutter goes into business for himself.
Okay, Pagey. Hip toss, baby.
Oh, did you see that elbow? Down goes Jimmy King!
What the hell was that?
This is the first time in which you see the film have a real identity crisis here. It can't keep the story straight on whether wrestling is real or fake. DDP is supposed to be shooting on Jimmy King here, but a lot of the moves he's doing are all based on cooperation, like everything in wrestling. Unless you were the Incredible Hulk, you would not be able to lift another person up like a sack of potatoes.
Crown him, King! Crown him! Prepare to be varnished!
Ah, yes, another pleasant running gag in this film. See, Gordy is supposed to be so stupid that he often says one word when he really means another.
Prepare to be varnished!
It's another plotter, Rouge. Buenos nachos, senorita.
What is the point of this gag? Is it not clear enough already how stupid Gordy is?
Why does it look like you have your finger in your butt?
'Cause it do.
So all the other WCW wrestlers come out and beat up Jimmy King as well as the referee because, sure, he was just sitting there not part of the conspiracy, and DDP emerges victorious, the new champion.
What? Why? Why not?
You think people hate me just because of my fashion sense? If I were calling the shots like Sinclair, I'd get sick of someone whose promos have rap numbers in them too. The King has run out of WCW and the boys are beside themselves.
Say, John, let it out, man! Damn it!
Shawn and Gordy crash the septic truck, spilling gallons of raw sewage everywhere. A tidal wave of shit. Yeah, that imagery sums up this movie pretty well.
What are we supposed to do?
Exactly. What? What would King do?
I don't know, not be an adult looking to a professional wrestler for frickin' life guidance? Our two heroes decide to hitchhike to Georgia to track down their idol and get him back into the ring. They get a ride from a group of nuns, who I swear are riding in the same van as the jewel thieves in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Running with the devil. Running with the devil. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, is this the part where I'm supposed to laugh? I mean, come on, I get what they're trying to accomplish here with this joke, but come on, movie. Make me laugh. Earn the laughter. Oh, Latka. Aren't these guys still wearing the clothes covered in raw sewage from the truck crash earlier? I don't know if this is how it works, but I thought the lighters would have ignited the methane gas coming off their clothes.
Running with the devil.
If only. The boys arrive in Atlanta, getting one step closer to finding their man. They enlist the help of a local wrestling fan who uses a fascinating tool called the internet to track down King.
Sir Isaac, you have served your king well.
My loneliness is killing me. I must confess, I still believe, Give me a sign. Hit me, baby, one more time.
Why?
My research confirms he has at least 3 kids. 2 illegitimate, 2 wives, and has filed for bankruptcy 3 times.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about Jimmy King here, or Ric Flair? Because I'm pretty sure the two lines are starting to blur together at this point. Gordy and Shawn discover that the King is holed up in a trailer park, so they go in to investigate.
Jimmy King!
Oh no. Who's there? Who's there?
They discover that Jimmy King is hiding out, dressed as a woman. Okay, now I know this guy is a metaphor for Ric Flair. They try to convince King to get back into the ring to avenge his loss, but their idol lays down some cold, hard truth on him.
You know it's just a show, right?
Best show in the world.
It's like dancing. You know? It's a circus show with dancing.
Right.
Dancing clowns.
Right.
Listen to me, you pair of dumb shits. I ain't no king. There never was no king. The king is a fake creation, okay? I ain't even a has-been. I'm a never was. You got it? Stupid? Now get the hell out of my house. I'm done with you. Get out!
That's probably how I would react to a pair of grown-ass men who thought it was still all real.
What's the matter with you?
Whoa! Oh!
Come on, this is nothing.
Hey, you gotta let go!
Show us some of that.
Wrong side, jackass! Gordy and Shawn awaken the beast and convince King to invade WCW and get one good shot at Sinclair. Now here comes the fakest thing in the entire film. The gang drives cross-country to sneak into a Nitro event in New York City. Now, non-wrestling fans might not understand how ludicrous this picture is, but WCW never ran shows in New York City. That was strictly WWF territory. Nobody else ran there, plain and simple. WCW ran in other parts of New York State, but never Manhattan, never the Garden, or in this case, the New York Arena. The three amigos sneak into the arena, with King smuggled into a porta-john when the boys get distracted.
Naked things.
Oh, the naked thing.
This is an important moment in wrestling history because it's the last time anyone paid attention to the Nitro girls. DDP and Sinclair enter the building, and that's when the shit goes down.
So, Paige, what do you really feel about Jimmy King?
See, now this I don't get. If they've blackballed King and run him out of the organization, why are they still talking about him? If you want people to forget about a wrestler, you stop talking about them. End of story. I mean, it doesn't always work out in the real world, but if you do it long enough, people eventually do forget. Kind of like, oh, no, I'm not gonna go there.
I ain't no damn bum!
While Jimmy King tries to really hurt Paige and Sinclair, security does nothing. Cameras are rolling, fans are reacting. Is this real or is this staged?
Do your job! Do your job!
You went there.
1, 2, 3. The winner by pinfall, Jimmy King.
Wait, what? Who said it was a match? Did I miss something? Was it just supposed to be symbolic or something?
No! That was unsanctioned!
Hey, any match, anytime. You heard him, Sinclair. Any match, anytime.
So Sinclair sentences the King to a steel cage match at the next pay-per-view for the title and apparently $1 million. Why? Who knows? Apparently the richest prize in professional wrestling isn't enough for some. At an after party, Gordy gets to spend some quality time with his Nitro Girl crush, Sasha.
I got your poster up in my room.
Really? Which one?
That's this one.
That's my favorite.
Me too.
You're really sweet.
Yeah, because this is the guy you really want to bring home to mom and dad. Either this girl is an idiot, or yeah, she's just an idiot. Gordy and Shawn take King to an old school wrestling trainer named Sal Bandini, played by legendary actor Martin Landau, who, you guessed it, deserves better than to be in this film. Quick question, how do the boys know where this guy was? The guys are from small town Wyoming and know nothing about New York. How are they able to get in contact with this guy? Oh well, better not to think about little logistical things like that. So, Not Too Hard starts to whip King into shape in preparation for his big match. Meanwhile, Gordy and Sasha move forward in their relationship.
Picking up some really awesome moves.
Awesome moves, huh? I'd love you to show me your awesome moves.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
This is some of the strangest foreplay I've ever seen. The gang goes to a gym to try and recruit people for the King's posse. They catch up with Bill Goldberg, who does not sugarcoat Jimmy's chances in the cage match.
Face it, you're a second-rate wrestler and a third-rate man.
Whoa, wait a minute, back up. Is that John Cena?
Face it, you're a second-rate wrestler and a third-rate man.
Wow, even he deserves better than this. Never mind. Meanwhile, things get serious as Sid Vicious and Perry Saturn sneak into Bandini's apartment to teach him a lesson and to tell him to keep away from King. The old man has some fire in him, but is ultimately outnumbered. At the hospital where they're checking up on Sal, Gordy discovers that Sasha is actually in cahoots with Sinclair.
Yeah.
It's over. It's done. Now can I please get the hell out of here?
Sasha, baby, take it easy.
You did great.
How did she do great? What did she do? It's never explained just how she led the goons to Bandini's apartment. She was able to get his name out of Gordy when they were having dinner in her apartment, but he never specified where he lived, unless he talked about it after their scene, or perhaps Sinclair knew where Sal lived, but again, it isn't explained. You know, for a movie as dumb as this one is, it's making me think way too much. Gordy dumps Sasha, and the trio head back to Lusk to continue the training. But on the way, they stop at Jimmy's house in Georgia, where King tries to make amends with his wife.
Hello, Eugenia.
Jimmy King. Oh! You are a bastard.
Yeah! There are lots, and I mean lots, of groin kicks in this movie. I was going to make a compilation of all the kicks to show you, but the makers of this film did me a solid and put one together for me at the end of the film.
All the humanity!
Fun for the whole family!
I'm gonna get that belt back. I'm gonna win $1 million. I'm gonna pay off all my debt. I'm gonna do the right thing by you. That's what I'm gonna do.
They get back to Lusk, but Gordy is immediately intercepted by his father, who forces him to enroll as a state trooper. But King and Shawn try to convince Gordy to follow his dream.
We need you, brother. Let's go. Gordy, we need you, baby. I need you.
I don't know, do they really need him? Throughout the entire movie, Gordy does almost nothing to contribute. After they find King, Shawn does all the legwork. He gets the cage match arranged. He sets King up with Bandini. He brings him back to Lusk to continue training. What the hell's Gordy done up to this point? Gordy reluctantly stays behind, but does send the others off when Jimmy King goes to Vegas for the big match. Shawn approaches Wendy, one of the girls from earlier in the film, and gives her a gift.
Thank you.
Oh, it's the greatest. I have a gift for you, too.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Come here. Yeah, totally.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I just want to say good luck.
Thank you.
And, maybe I'll see you at the restaurant.
Definitely.
Wyoming, the only state north of the Mason-Dixon line where you can get laid on a WCW blanket. And to think, he gets a girl to bed, and all he had to do was give her a t-shirt. I mean, God, what an absolutely stupid idea. I mean, just the dumbest, Excuse me for 1 minute.
Shirts for sex! Shirts for sex! I give you a shirt, you give me your body!
The big night finally arrives. Before the bout, Sinclair has a one-on-one meeting with Sting and tells him he needs to help Paige out in his championship match.
I will kill you if you fuck this up.
And if you don't fuck this up, you get ice cream!
Jimmy King! You want the belt? Come on down and get it! It's on top of the Cage of Death.
Cage of Death? King comes out with his posse, including Shawn, who looks to have bought his suit from the same place the guys from Dumb and Dumber did, and the match is on. DDP tries to handcuff King to the cage early on when suddenly...
Come on, King. Let me give you a hand, buddy.
Paige!
You idiot. That stuff doesn't work. What the?
Look, the diamond upside down is a pussy.
Come on, King!
Holy shit! A funny joke! We have our first funny joke of the film! I mean, the powder, DDP's reaction, getting handcuffed. Wow, an actual funny bit! And we're only 90 minutes into the film! Oh boy, keep the laughs a-coming!
Don't do it, Dad.
Why did he stop? Why did Jimmy King stop? What's going on here? He just stopped in his tracks.
Son? What the hell are you doing?
Paying you back.
Yeah, this is definitely supposed to be Ric Flair.
He's got the stun gun! He's put the stun gun in the back of Ric Flair! Oh my God, that's David Flair.
That's David Flair.
It's Goldberg. It's the Disco Inferno. Kidman and Booker T.
Wait, the cage is locked up again? Bigelow and the gang broke the chain at first, and now Goldberg and company are locked out? Who locked it back up? Was there just extra uncut chain lying around? But Gordy makes the save with his new sheriff gimmick and his flying motorcycle of death.
Did you check it out? Yeah. What'd you think? Do you like my deal?
Such the punch.
Yeah.
Gordy, you look great in that uniform.
Wait, what? How did Sasha get in? God, so many nonsensical run-ins in this match. What the hell are we watching here? Oh, yeah. The two combatants make their way to the top of the triple cage as the man called Sting looks on. What choice will he make? Ice cream or death? DDP looks to have the match in the bag when the Stinger swashbuckles his way into the match and helps out Jimmy King.
Jimmy King's all right by me.
That'll be $500,000 for that one line of dialogue, please. Oh, and by the way, that whole death threat Sinclair made earlier in the night, not followed up on at all. Makes you wonder how much pull Sinclair really has if he doesn't make good on his threats. So King prevails over Diamond Dallas Page and wins the WCW Championship once again. King is happy, Shawn and Gordy are happy, Goldberg is happy, Sinclair is eaten alive by the fans, DDP resorts to a life of selling yoga DVDs, and our three boys drive off into the sunset as the heroes.
God bless America.
Wow, what a fitting line to end this movie on. Because only in America could you make a piece of shit movie like this. This movie is the kind of thing that makes you ashamed to be a wrestling fan. The acting is horrible by everyone involved, the jokes miss the mark time and time again, and worst of all, the movie can't make up its mind over whether wrestling is real or fake in this world. They've got outsiders calling it fake and they get beat up for it, but meanwhile, they have Jimmy King himself admitting to Shawn and Gordy that's all work. There's a script involved, and when people go against it, they just go along with it and make it their new reality. Meanwhile, all the stuff they're doing to each other in the ring on the shoot would be impossible to pull off if they were doing these moves for real. Not to mention that if any of this stuff was a shoot and if a wrestler was blacklisted, any respectable promotion would just try and erase him from the history books, not bringing him up and putting cameras on him. When the supposedly real-life conflict between King and Sinclair is aired in front of the fans, they react as if it's part of the script, and everything afterward plays out like it is. What's real? What's fake? The movie has a hard time making that clear. In fact, I think this could have been a much more interesting film if it's revealed at the end that the fight between King and Sinclair is all one giant work. They'd be fighting, but then at the end, the two shake hands and reveal this was all a big setup to sell tickets and gain ratings. Gordy and Shawn will be disillusioned about professional wrestling after their favorite wrestler exposes how much of a sham the business can be, forcing the two to grow up and become functioning members of society. But you can't get that deep in this film because then it would get a little too complex for your target audience.
Wrestling's not fake!
And thanks to this movie, WCW gave us one of the stupidest storylines in wrestling history. I only have 4 words for you. David Arquette, World Champion. Need I say more? This cross-promotional stunt made WCW a laughingstock and was one of the final nails in the coffin for the company before they were bought out by the WWF. But I'll admit, as bad as this movie was, it was still better than Beast of the Southern Wild. I'm Brian Zane and I have some more t-shirts to give out. I'll see you later.
Alright, wrestling fans, did you like Wrestling with Regret? Well, you're gonna love the world famous flea market. I'm Hot Johnny August, and my partner Ross Vegas. We commentate over the shittiest wrestling on the internet. You're gonna love what you see. Click this box, this box right here for some action-packed action. New episodes every Tuesday at noon.